What's up, my friends? Today we're ripping, and we're going to talk about what made me love the zoo. Why do I like the zoo so much? What brought me into the zoo? Why do I still follow it for so long? Right? Well, I guess it started. I used to collect Pokemon back in the day, and like everyone else, I was trying to collect stuff during COVID and past couple of years. And I tried a couple card games. I didn't really like it. Yu-Gi-Oh was really toxic, but I started playing Dragon Ball Z with my best friend. My best friend moved to Texas, so that was out. And Pokemon, you couldn't get a hit to save your life, so I was out of that. I was not enjoying Pokemon. So then I decided to go to a stream. It was Nerds vs Geeks, my good friend, and he was talking about MetaZoo, and he was talking about how they kind of emphasis on the art and the artist. And honestly, what he had on the screen, he had CN2, and I was not a huge fan of it. I thought a lot of the art was really amateur. And I do know, being an artist myself for many years, I thought, hey, they probably are fantastic artists. I don't know their backgrounds. I still really don't know much about the artists, other than maybe Pancho, the fact that he was in the circus. Looks like there's gonna be a 9 hollow box. Uh, Pancho was in the circus, and I think that the people involved weren't huge into TCGs. So making the art for TCGs, well, maybe not. Making the art for TCGs wasn't their forte. They weren't well versed in it, but I liked a little bit of it. I liked all the chases were great, chessy. Even though a lot of them, I loved Piazzaberg that kind of looked like a Charizard, and they had Frogman that kind of looks like a Venusaur. It just looked like they were trying to copy off of Pokemon, and they were also trying to copy off of Magic the Gathering, which is cool. I loved both of those growing up, and what really drew me in was that growing up, people used to call me Frog or Toad, and I actually just started a company at that time called TMX Comics, where the T is for Toad because of the name that was given to me as a kid. And so I'm Toad Man. People call me Toad, and it was Toad Man Comics, And there's a card called the Frogman. So my friend Nerds was like, "Hey man, do you know that there's a Frogman in here? And you know about the art and all that?" And I really, dug more into it, and actually fell in love with Victor Larson's art. And I followed all the artists and kind of saw their background. I'm like, yep, they are really talented artists. Again, TCG seemed to be new for them, but that's not a bad thing. And started following the work, and I got back into art myself, and I started doing art with my daughter. My daughter and I really bonded over that, and we still do artwork probably. I'll say every other day. Like recently, we just made like the creepy crawler um, worms and stuff. We painted them and made them the other day. That was a treat for her because she's been doing so good in school. She got student of the month. So I was like, oh, I'll treat whatever you want to do. And yeah, so then I started collecting, and it got to about UFO. The UFO set was kind of difficult to to like as a collector. There wasn't a lot of cards that, just in my opinion, um, I didn't I didn't enjoy that set. So I actually stopped collecting, and I thought, well, maybe I should start playing the game if I really wanted to see where I'm going with this, because I don't think I'm going to collect any further. I'm not really liking collecting. I was kind of burnt out on Wilderness, because Wilderness was so abundant, and I was a seller at the time, and they kind of ran that. Other sellers kind of ran that into the ground because they got the um, the boosters for free through whatnot, and they it was a loan that they got through whatnot. They loaned them. They gave them as many boosters as they wanted, and then they would be able to sell them, and they had to pay whatnot back. Well, that just created a lot of issues because it was just flooded the market. And then as soon as they came out, then they wanted to do eBay, Wilderness, and all these other big boxes and different sets of Wilderness. They kind of they did too much too soon, and it became difficult as a collector. And then UFO really made it worse. So I was like, you know what? I don't think I could really be collecting like I used to. I have other things I put my money into. Let me see if I'm really gonna continue doing this, right? So I started playing the game, and I had my friend Flyer. He was my neighbor, 2 houses down at the time. He started coming over, and we started playing it, and we really loved it. Thought it was a really good game. He used to play Pokemon, and I played Pokemon with him, and yeah, so we actually enjoyed it a lot more than just collecting. So we started playing, and then we started playing competitively, and then we started our own Discord and our own community. We did charity events, and it felt a lot better doing a charity event and using the money to make a good cause rather than selling on whatnot. We just sit in the stream for hours and kind of, you know, try to chill and say the same thing over and over again and try to, sell your wares to a couple people at a time. That was not fun. That felt more work than work to me. But being around people who love the game and teaching new people and having prizes for people who do well, and raising money for charities, and that's what really drew me into it, and was like, you know what, I can make something out of this. I could do something more than you know just being a part of the community. I could start the community over. I could make a real community for myself and for others. So that's what I love about MetaZoo. That's my little story and how I got in. I really loved seeing so much because there's so many cars that were the chase. Even they weren't the chase, they were still a chase to a lot of people. You know, so I think that one's the best set so far. And really, although they didn't have like a core roster of cards, there's so many cards in there that were, you know, what people really wanted. And I did get the sense that it was kind of a Pokemon clone at first, because like the Frogman image was kind of like Venusaur, and it was Hodag was not Hodag. Piazzaberg was kind of like Charizard, and Beastabusco was kind of like Blastoise, and you know, uh, Tizeract was definitely Gyarados. They had images from Pokemon that was almost like copy and paste. So that was kind of a turn off for me. But again, a lot of the art really drew me in after I got over the initial shock of some of the cards that were looked a little bit less refined. But then eventually I saw that, hey, these guys are really good artists, and there's definitely people that I wanted to collect and wanted to support. All right, so that's it. What's your MetaZoo story? All right, well, peace.